You've probably heard the magic number. You need $2 million to retire in Canada. But here's the thing, that number is meaningless without context. For some, it might not be enough. For others, it's way more than they actually need. So today, I'm going to show you why retirement isn't about hitting a number. It's about building a plan that reflects your lifestyle, your values, and your real costs. Because if you're a high-income earner or business owner approaching retirement, you might be closer than you think. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Danny Perro, Senior Investment Advisor at CG Wealth Management. One of the most common questions I hear from successful professionals and business owners is this: Danny, how much is enough? They've built wealth, real estate, investments, but the fear lingers. Did I save enough? Am I missing something? What if the market drops? The real problem isn't the portfolio, it's the lack of a clear, personalized retirement income plan. Let's break down what enough really means and how to figure it out if you're already there. Point number one, your retirement lifestyle drives the number. Let's start here because this is the biggest misconception I see, especially among the high income earners. Retirement isn't about chasing a magic number. It's about designing a lifestyle and then building a strategy to fund that lifestyle. The most affluent Canadians come into my office with one question: do I have enough? But when I ask enough for what, they don't often have a clear answer. That's where the real conversation begins. Your number isn't 1 million, 2 million, or even $5 million. Your number is based on the following factors: how much you spend every year, how long you'll be financially independent, and how you want to feel about your finances, not just the spreadsheets. Do you want $15,000 a month to travel, maintain multiple properties, help your adult children, and create a philanthropic legacy? Or do you want $8,000 a month for a comfortable, simplified life in your forever home with the occasional trip and full of financial independence? Both of these goals are valid, but the required portfolio to support them is very different. Here's what I help clients do. We reverse engineer your plan from your goals. What does the ideal day in retirement look like? What do you spend freely on? What could you scale back without sacrificing joy? This isn't budgeting, it's lifestyle design. Because when you're affluent, the risk isn't not having enough. It's continuing to chase an arbitrary number out of habit when you could already be living the life you've earned. Start with a lifestyle, then we'll figure out the number. Point number two, you likely have more income sources than you think. Affluent Canadians tend to focus on one big question: do I have enough in my investment portfolio? But here's the thing, your retirement income isn't just coming from your portfolio. It's coming from a mosaic of income sources that, when combined properly, can make a huge difference in how much capital you actually need to withdraw and when. Let's look at what you may already have working in your favor. Number one, government programs. Yes, even for you high income earners. CPP and OAS may not make up the bulk of your income, but they still matter. For a couple, combined CPP and OAS could be upwards of $25,000 to $35,000 per year in guaranteed inflation indexed income. That's $700,000 in accumulated value over a 25 to 30 year retirement. So why ignore it? Corporate accounts or holding companies. Many businesses have assets in a holding company. Properly managed, dividends from corporate investments can be structured for tax efficiency, spreading income across multiple years. Are you treating that corporate capital like part of your plan, or like it's on a separate island? Number three, real estate income. If you own rental properties or commercial real estate, those assets can generate a predictable income stream, sometimes inflation linked, and may offset what you'd otherwise need from your investment withdrawals. Even downsizing or unlocking equity from a secondary property could serve as an intentional retirement income event. Number four, non-registered investment accounts. Many affluent clients focus solely on RSPs and TFSAs, but non-registered accounts offer more flexibility and different tax treatments, like capital gains or dividend income. Used properly, these can act as a key source of income without triggering massive tax burdens. Number five, deferred compensation like business sales or proceeds from inheritances. Some clients have deferred stock options, ongoing earnouts from a business sale, or anticipated inheritance from aging parents. These aren't guaranteed, but they can be integrated into your planning model to reduce how much you need to withdraw from other accounts early on. Why does this matter? Once we map out all income sources and how they interact from a tax and cash flow perspective, the timing may change. You might realize that your portfolio doesn't need to do as much of the heavy lifting as you thought. And that means you may not need $3 million to retire. You may be able to stop working sooner. You may be able to live better now while spending less of your capital. Affluent retirees have options. The question is, are you looking at all of them? Point number three, cash flow planning is more important than a big number. Let's be honest, affluent Canadians are conditioned to chase the the next milestone. I want to hit $2 million. Let's target $5 million before I retire. I need a $10 million net worth before I slow down. But here's what most successful professionals and business owners don't realize until they're right on the edge of retirement. Retirement is no longer about what you have. It's about what you can access. And access equals cash flow. Here's a common mistake I see. Someone spends 30 years building a well-diversified, high-performing portfolio, but they've never actually asked, how do I turn this into income on my terms? That's where a real retirement plan begins. Cash flow planning answers questions like, which accounts should I draw from first? RSPs, TFSAs, or non-registered accounts? How do I avoid pushing myself into a higher tax bracket unnecessarily? Can I structure income to avoid old age security clawbacks? Should I delay CPP and OAS or start earlier to protect my portfolio? Without this level of planning, even a $3 to $5 million portfolio can feel fragile. You might be withdrawing too much in the wrong years, or worse, you might not be spending enough because you don't know how much you can afford. Let's flip the mindset. Stop obsessing over hitting a magic number. Start asking, can I create reliable, tax-efficient, sustainable income that supports my ideal retirement lifestyle? When you build your retirement around cash flow clarity, not portfolio targets, everything gets easier. You'll spend with confidence. You'll reduce tax drag. You'll protect your investments in volatile markets. And you'll stop playing defense with your wealth, because financial security isn't about the biggest pile of money. It's about knowing that every piece of your wealth has a job to do and that it's doing it efficiently. Point number 4, the fear narrative is costing you time and joy. Let's talk about something that doesn't show up on a balance sheet, but it impacts every financial decision in retirement. Fear. Yes, I see this all the time with successful, affluent Canadians. They built real wealth, they have more than enough to retire comfortably, but yet they're stuck in a mindset of just one more year of work. Let's wait to travel until the markets settle. What if we run out? This fear is subtle. It doesn't show up in your portfolio. It shows up in your lifestyle decisions. You delay retirement even though you could stop today. You scale back on the spending even though your plan says you could spend more. You miss opportunities to travel, family time, experiences, because you're focused on the size of the nest egg, not what it's meant to do. Where does this come from? It's not lack of money. It's lack of clarity and confidence. Most affluent professionals are great at building wealth, but retirement is a different game. It's no longer about accumulation. It's about distribution, coordination, and purpose. And when you don't have a structured plan that shows you how your money supports your life, month by month, year by year, you fall back on fear-based defaults. Save more, spend less, work longer. That's not financial freedom. That's financial paralysis. The solution? A plan that replaces fear with facts. When you see exactly how much income you can safely withdraw, how your investments are structured to weather different markets, how taxes are being managed to protect your lifestyle, how long your money will last across different scenarios, the fear will fade. And in its place, confidence, clarity, and the permission to actually live. Because what's the point of a $5 million portfolio if you're still afraid to spend it? You didn't build wealth just to stare at it. You built a life of freedom, generosity, and fulfillment. Let's not let fear be the reason you miss your best retirement years. So how much do you really need to retire in Canada? The honest answer, it depends. It depends on your goals, your values, and how your income is structured. But here's the good news. If you've been disciplined, intentional, and successful in your working years, you may already be much closer than you think. If you want clarity, not just numbers, book a time with me using the link in the description below. We'll map out your lifestyle, your income, and your strategy. No fear, no guesswork, just a retirement plan that works for you.